What's up, y'all? I'm doing a story time real quick, or like I'll say a pre-story time. This will be like somewhat of a pre-story time because I'll probably do some stuff tonight. I'm gonna see if I can get 3-4 stories in tonight. Still catching up on a little bit of sleep and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm not sure. So I think I might try to put 2 in 1. I don't know. My bus will be here soon, headed downtown. So remember when I was telling y'all that, on kind of my rise into IT, that's what really these are about, these stories and stuff, is kind of the rise into IT from hustling in the street and doing whatnot. And so, when I really come to realize, before I really was really getting my feet hard into making actual money out of my skill set, I was in a lot of dangerous areas when things was going on, and I forgot that. There was a story one time, and I'll go into more detail about this, but I'll kind of break them down into different pieces and whatnot. There was a story time, and I know the girl's name, but I'm not gonna say. But now, there was a time where this, because I used to pay the sisters when I used to have long hair and a fro, long. I had a big, real big. I used to pay, and when I started, that's another thing too. When I was in high school, I started growing my hair a little bit, and when women would see that, they want to braid your hair. They want to braid your hair. They want you to sit between their legs. They used to, I'm telling you, they used to like that. They used to be like, I want to braid your hair, like, and that was a thing that they like to do. They wanted, and I noticed that every time, a lot of times when I was getting my hair braided, they would like that. They like that closeness. I'd be sitting between their legs, and they'd be sitting there flirting and carrying on. If they like you, they might do it for free. I'd always pay. But initially, when I got my hair braided, when my hair started growing, they wanted to, they would offer it. DP's hair's getting long. Oh, you need to come over to my house. And sometimes I would like go over their house and they would start to braid. The first time I tried to get my hair braided, it hurt so bad, I stopped. I couldn't take it. And I was like, oh, hell, I'm shaving this off. But so now there's a picture that Jaya took of me with an Anichi shirt. I thought I was 14, 15. No, I was a lot older than that. But that shirt y'all seen that old story time where I got that Anichi shirt, Puffy had a clothing line called Anichi. It wasn't Sean John, but it still had some dope stuff. And that was my thing. I probably got it from Mercer's or whatnot. I look like I'm like 12, 13, 14. I look super young. And that's when I had some cornrows and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, when I used to get my hair braided and stuff, and I don't know, a lot of sisters like that. If you had some clean cornrows or whatever, oh, you was super, even if you ain't got no money, you on the bus, you was super getting chose on, because they'd ask, who did your braids? Really what they were saying is, hey, I'm trying to holler. That's really what they saying. So now, there was a time, and I might have been in school. I don't remember how this time. I got to ask Stack Doe this. But basically, there was a war that erupted. It was 2 sets that were very, very cool. And I would say they were in the 30s. I'll say that much. They were very, very cool. At one point, they were kind of like real cool. Anybody in the city will know what I'm talking about. Something happened, somebody's car got stolen, or something like that happened, whatever. But now they kind of going at it a little bit. And to my knowledge, to people that I know personally, it kind of hurt them because these were people that they endeared. Now, there was 2 incidents. One girl that was braiding my hair, she had one girl that was braiding my hair. she had one day I was on 33rd in Bloomington, and I was going to her people's house to get my hair braided. I think she had got shot over that not that day, but somebody had shot her, right? And because of those incidents. Another time, I think a girl had got shot in the leg. I'm not sure, but I was talking to one girl. So I'm walking down Portland. I'm going to see this girl. I'm going over there. Hey, I tell my homie, I'm about to go to the 30s real quick. Oh, hell no. Don't go over there. All the bad broads used to be over there, especially the little cute chocolate brown skin chicks. They'd be over in the 30s. And niggas didn't want to go over there because of, you know what I'm saying? They just did. A lot of dudes didn't want to go over there. There was this shop. And I should do a story time on this too. I'm going to do like probably 4 story times off of these. There was a tape shop right off of 33rd. It was like a block off 38th. Now where the smoking shop, the smoke wings. I got to go over there. The smoke wing shop where the smoke wings, smoke in the pit. I think it might have been that building. It was called Universal. That's where you got that was another one. That was besides Electric Fetus and beside Digital City. If you were over south in that area and you didn't want to go off Franklin to Electric Fetus, everybody went to Electric Fetus. Everybody. There's folks from over north and everybody went to Electric Fetus because that was like Electric Fetus was, you get your incense, you get them. They had everything plus CDs, vinyl. Electric Fetus, and I think Electric Fetus is still open. But you could go to Universal, but dudes didn't want to go to the 30s because it was notorious and they was tripping over there. They asking you, who are you? I mean, they were very, very militant about their neighborhood. So the only people that went over there is me and, me and one of my guys. We used to go over there and we used to get the CDs, but we kind of looking left and right and, you got to hop on, what bus was that you go up there? It's just one bus that goes up Chicago. The 5. You hop on the 5. Now the 5, they got like different 5Bs and 5 things. The 5 used to also go to the mall, all the way to the mall. Now I'll tell you something else. The 5 was live. The 5, the 21, and the 16 was turned. The 2 was super turned, but it was like a lot more bums and addicts and drunks. But now the 5, going all the way from Brooklyn Park all the way to the Mall of America. There was one, like the 5B or something, went all the way to the Mall of America. Otherwise, there was a bridge. Now it's a little different. But there was a 180 bus. All kind of bad bras everywhere. Bad. And there's some north side chicks. The sisters over north look good too. But that comes all the way through the south side. So now, you got to get off on 38th in Chicago and walk down. Or you could get off on like 36th or 37th or something and then walk right across the street or walk up. But you have to go to their neighborhood to get to the Universal. But I used to go a lot of times anyway. And I was probably one of the first couple of my buddies to really kind of venture off in that neighborhood, even though that was kind of forbidden ground, considering. That was somewhat forbidden ground. There was also a cheesesteak on 34th in Chicago. But like I say, a lot of people, they did not want to go there because of the pressure that you will receive from the neighborhood. You will receive an immense amount of pressure soon as you come on the block. Dudes want to know, who are you? They have a whole bunch of questions. So dudes, they just didn't want to go and deal with that. And if they was dudes that was affiliated in some kind of way, they really didn't want to go over there because they knew that, something might happen to them. They might get beat up, at least get beat up at the very least. And if you're an opposing side, you're liable to end up in a box. So people just didn't want to go in that neighborhood to that degree if they weren't over there. Especially even when we had a shop on 38th and Nicollet, I had to convince dudes to come down there because of they didn't want to come there. They didn't want to deal with it. You see what I'm saying? They just didn't want to come they didn't want to come on 38th. And 38th and Nicollet was kind of like the end of the neighborhood almost. Like it didn't, but and 38th and Nicollet was, Nicollet was a pretty decent, especially 38th was pretty clean. It was pretty, you started to get a whole lot nicer. I'm going to do a video of all these places that I used to go. and I'm about to start taking video and get some footage. So now the girls braid my hair. In comes one of her, well, they said relatives at that time. In comes one of her cousins, but that's not the term they use. They use relative. So now I'm getting my hair braided. The dude sees me and he thinks I'm from somewhere that they have an issue with. So he's very uncomfortable with me being in the house. And he asked me where I was from. He asked me 3 times because he wanted to, because he felt like I might be lying. So now I'm talking to the dude. He's visibly not happy with me being there. I'm talking to him. I'm trying to convince him. So she finishes up. So now I go outside. I leave. Man, you sure, bro? I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I seen you. Something like, and I used to go to all the neighborhoods because I wasn't claiming anything, so I just kind of bounce around where I go. In fact, one thing that we used to do is the neighborhood that I was talking about, people wear a lot of red. That was my favorite color, so I wore it. And I probably wasn't a good idea, but at the time, I didn't care. That was a thing that some of my friends, man, you flamed up. I didn't care. Because my theory was that if somebody tried to press me, I was a little short, but I kind of knew how to fight. So I really wasn't worried about nobody beating me up or whatever. If some dude was talking about, man, you take that shirt off, whatever, I'd just beat him up. I could just beat him up. That's how I thought about it. Unless they had a weapon or something, but I just look like I'm not taking man, take your shirt off. You can't wear it. I just beat him up. I never was worried about getting beat up. I never was worried about nobody beat me up. Because a lot of dudes was afraid to fight, and the first thing they want to do is pull out a gun. So I never was afraid to get beat up, ever. So in my mind, I'm gonna wear the color I want to wear. And I used to do that everywhere in Minneapolis. So I didn't really have a lot of issues with nobody. Now, I made one mistake in that neighborhood wearing the wrong color. And I'll tell that story too. But now, what I did was, I'd wear my favorite color, my Dickies shirt. It'd be red. And people got used to kind of seeing that. So it wasn't like, they would, that's the CD dude. He's not that. That's just what he wears. So no, I don't think nobody really batted an eye. I got looks, especially when I went to St. Paul, stuff like that. Like, oh, he must be from the South Side. He's wearing that. And some people did ask, but my homie used to do is he put on a blue shirt. So now we would go to all these different neighborhoods, and it was a little confusing to some dudes. Like, okay, well, is that one of his cousins? And but it brings the tension down because he's wearing a red shirt and the other guy wears a blue shirt. So they're like, okay, well, we can't be mad at them both. You know what I'm saying? So, simple-minded Negroes be confused. So they can see it and they don't really know what to make of it. So that's one thing that we used to purposely do. I'm not changing my color. I'm wearing what I want to wear. Unless it got to a point where it's dangerous and stuff, and it probably already was, but we was young, so we didn't know. He's wearing a different color. So, and sometimes I would wear a blue and he'd wear a red. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we would do. And we would just walk all around and be selling our CDs, especially like on Nicollet and stuff like that. Like, it was a prominent time. Like, and when Blueprint came out, and man, please, like, that's what we would do. And then we start ordering socks. We're like, let's diversify a little bit. Because the crackhead niggas start selling stuff for $1. So now, then once I kind of learned just a little bit, that might have been 02, 03, I had already learned enough about computers. So I started just handing out cards and doing what I could. Like if somebody had something real quick, I'd have like AVG antivirus or AVAS or something, and I would use that. Now, once I started getting into TeamViewer and all that other stuff, that's when I really started kind of doing my thing. But so, yeah, I'm leaving the girl's house. He comes off with, hey, relative, you sure, bro? Nah, man, I ain't, he said, man, I seen you somewhere, but he's being extra aggressive because a dude that'll say, no, that ain't me, he'll turn around and do something. And then now his family's dressing him up. You see what I'm saying? So that's why he was extra aggressive. Now, I didn't really mess with the Franklin area that much. But there was this dude that used to stay over there. Thought she was about to ask for something. If she would have asked for a couple dollars, this is the sister. She looked like she kind of worn out a little bit. It'd be a lot of characters up here at this mall. I would have gave her a couple dollars if she would have asked. I would have gave her a couple dollars. I don't usually do that, but I would have gave her a couple dollars. So now, what time is it? 7 on. Okay, so now, man, is that my bus? I think that's my bus, man. Okay, so look. The other neighborhood that they had a rival with, because remember, these were full blown on wars going on when we were selling our CDs. We were in the thick of it. There was no neighborhood we wouldn't go. We really didn't care. You know, our attitude was we just go in here, we sell our mixtapes, and we gonna move around. So now, we go off of Franklin to go visit some dude's house. One of the guys that we had knew that had went to South with us, they saying his name, I think it was him, but I think his name was T.Y. I can't remember, but I think he had got killed over South or over North or somewhere. Another dude that I was in the computer class with, a tall dude, we had heard that he got killed over North. One of my close friends, his brother got killed on Portland or something like. So folks was getting their heads knocked off around 04, 05. So now I remember this 04, about 05 and stuff like that. 05 was getting, so we were like, okay, we got to come up with a skill set. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to have to do something rather than, because see, now you're going to these places and now you're waiting on the bus, right? And stuff is just happening. Stuff is happening that you hear. We hear, a couple blocks down, this happened. It would always be close to where we was. Another thing happened. I think a main leader of a neighborhood, his son got killed at Wendy's or around Wendy's or something like that. So we're not too far when that happens. You saw shit just kept happening, and every time we look up something's going on, we don't really have anything to do with that stuff, but we're in the neighborhood, so people talk, well, you know, something happened to so-and-so, something happened to so-and-so. And let me tell you what a lot of these dudes would do in Minneapolis. I swear. Something would happen to a dude will get smoked, and you'll see his homie with his baby mama. That happened a lot. That happened a whole lot. We used to see that. I'm like, damn, man, that man ain't been buried 5 minutes. They didn't care. These broads was cunning. I'm telling you. I seen it with my own eyes. Most of these things where they say on the news was, oh, it's gangs and stuff, and it was, but most of it was over hood rats. I'm gonna be honest. Folks, the dudes ain't gonna tell you that because they don't want to admit that they was beta males. They don't want to admit that. But a lot of these dudes that did something to some dude or whatever, it was over a hood rat. And it don't even necessarily be their baby mama. It was just some rat that they wanted, and they mad because she talking to her or whatever the case may be. Most of these unalivings, and even to this day, most of these unalivings, a lot of them are due to what we used to call bust downs. It'd be a bust down, but she might be bad, and the dude's mad or whatever the case may be. So the news will say it's a game, but it's not. That's what the news will say. The news will say it's a game. But I know, because I used to be in the neighborhoods. And I used to talk to people, and every time they be like, what happened to bro? Man, you know, man, he was trying to hit his chick or whatever like that. But he just happened to be in the game. So the news will say game. He didn't unalive him, or he didn't do nothing to him because he was in the gang. He did something to him because he was knocking his broad. 90% of the unalivings most of the time in the city be over a rat. I'm telling you. I know. When I load this up, Jay watches, he'll tell you. It's 90%. Not most of the time it'll be over. Man, you know what was that really over? Man, they tripping. It's a gang war. No, it wasn't. It was some hood rat. Now, the opposing sides could have got involved because you did something to their guy, but most of the time it'd be over a rat, or it could have been a deal gone wrong, or whatever the case may be. But that's what I'm saying. These were the kind of things that we were seeing on a regular basis. So we didn't really watch the news. I just think about it. Like, we didn't really watch the news. Now I watch the news. We didn't really watch the news because we knew what was going on. Oh, there go my damn bus.